10 is often used as an image for the completion or the fullness of sin. Consider, for example, when does sin reach its completion, reach its fullness? When does God issue his judgment because of sin? Noah, the 10th generation from Adam. Noah, again, and his generation is a sin. How grave does the sin become? Well, we read in Genesis chapter 6 that it's gotten so bad that even the intentions of the thoughts of their hearts were sinful. Not just their actions, not just the way that they were speaking, not just the way that they were thinking, even the intentions of their hearts were sinful. There's a totality to the sin, and it's reigning over the whole world, so much so that God is going to destroy the world through the flood and save Noah and his family, those 8 souls. How many times when Israel's wandering through the wilderness do they test God before God finally issues judgment? I'll give you a guess. 10 times. None of the men who have seen my glory and my signs that I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and yet have put me to the test these 10 times, and have not obeyed my voice, shall see the land that I swore to give to their fathers. Israel enters into this season of testing over and over and over again, 10 times testing the Lord before he finally says, enough is enough. This generation will die out here in the wilderness. Even though it's not that long of a journey from Israel into Canaan, you will die in the wilderness. You're going to keep wandering in the wilderness, and I will bring the next generation into the land. These are symbols for the fullness or the completeness of sin. And yet we have these 10 lepers and Jesus who's followed by who? The disciples, right? And how many of those are there? There's 12, right? Jesus has a lot more disciples than just 12, right? But we think of the 12 disciples who become the 12 apostles, and they're set apart. And so it's maybe helpful for us to ask the question, what's the deal with 12? 12 throughout the scriptures represents the fullness of God's people. How many tribes of Israel are there? 12. Technically there's more, but 12. How many apostles are there? 12. Technically there's more, but okay, yeah, 12. How many elders are there around the throne in Revelation chapter 4? 24. 12 representing the 12 tribes of Israel, 12 representing the apostles. How many stars are on Mary's crown in Revelation chapter 12? 12, yeah, it's also in chapter 12 in case you didn't know. Okay, how many gates and foundations are in the heavenly Jerusalem that we see in Revelation chapter 21? 12, good. You guys are, wow, you guys really know your Bibles. That's excellent. Okay, so we see 12 over and over and over again, right, as these symbols of the fullness, the completeness of God's people. And so we have Jesus with his 12 following him, and then we have the 10 lepers on the other side. And these are both images of different forms of completeness, different forms of fullness, one representing God's people, and the other representing the fullness of sin, the fullness of brokenness.